Tribe, it's your girl Naja here, and I'm back with another video. And let me fix this camera because I'm still getting used to filming with this couch. Like, I feel like I look either really short or really tall. It's like no in between. I'm working on it, okay? So today's video is going to be a story time video. It is going to be a call center story time video. I know you guys really enjoyed my call center story time movie. I put a lot of work into it. It was not easy to do, so I'm really glad that it popped off so well and that you guys liked it as much as you did, and I really appreciate the feedback. A lot of you guys are wondering where part 2 is. Part 2 has been posted. I'm going to be putting the link of part 2 in the bio of part 1 so that you guys are not confused. It is definitely up. People have definitely seen it. Don't be tardy to the party. Go watch it. So this is going to be the time where one of these little ratchet ass little girls done lit the damn bathroom on fire. Okay? Bless. Let me put some oil in here. There's like no oil in here. Okay, so I'm going to be putting some oil in here while I'm talking, so sorry if I'm not making eye contact. So basically this happened around the time where right after Raymond got fired. As you guys know, I tell all of my story time from the call center series in order, so if you guys have not watched the other videos, I highly advise you do it, or else you are going to be lost in the motherfucking sauce. And a lot of people were watching the Storytime movie without watching the video, and they were like, who is this? Who is that? You need to make a list for your characters because we don't know who's going on. And it's like, the reason why you need a list for the characters and you don't know what's going on is because you have not watched the previous videos. And to be honest, the name of the characters really don't matter because I'm keeping it anonymous, you get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so everything is being told in order, so make sure again that you guys go and watch the original, story times. My awesome subscribers has made a playlist for the Storytime movie, so just go ahead and catch up before you watch this one. So like I said, this takes place right after Raymond left. Now, it's kind of crazy because like once peak season ends, it's like there's still like, I can't say what holiday or season comes after peak season because then it would give away where I work. But let's just say something goes on in America. Damn, that's still kind of spilling the tea. Okay, let's just say there's this event that happens, okay, and we get an influx of orders. So yeah, right after Christmas and all that, right after peak season, we get another influx of orders. Like, shit really doesn't chill out at Ratchet Corp until around like April, May, June-ish. You get what I'm saying? And again, guys, please do not try to guess where I worked because I really want to keep this series going. These people are desperate for cash right now. I do not need them suing me and claiming ownership for my videos and shit. Like, please be chill. Like, it'd be different if I worked for like Walmart or eBay, or you get what I'm saying, but I don't. Like, I work for a pretty big company and they're currently going through a lawsuit with somebody that I actually know personally right now. So I would appreciate it if you guys wouldn't try to figure out who Ratchet Corp is. Like, actually, I'm gonna spill some tea. You remember the story time about the guy who would always come to my desk in loss prevention and like always tried to get with me, and he got one of the girls pregnant at the job and he was fucking all the bitches at the job before Raymond was there. And that guy, he's the guy that's actually in court with Ratchet Corp right now. Like, I don't need that. I really don't. So I'd appreciate it if you guys would just enjoy it for its face value and be entertained. At that point, right after peak season, it's still a lot of volume and it's still a lot of overtime. Like, that used to be like my favorite point of working at Ratchet Corp because I could make the most money. I would literally stay there at work for like 12 hours. Like, I did not give a fuck. I'm still this way. I'm a hustler, bruh. I will never be broke. I will never be broke again. I was broke at one point in my life and I will never be that way again. I swore to myself when I was down on my ass, scraping pennies, couldn't even put gas in my car. Like, I swore to myself I would never be broke again, and I just turned myself into a hustler. Like, so I would be at work 12 hours a day, like no fucks given. Like, what do you mean? Like, checks looking great, okay? Like, Sure, the taxes were a bitch, but it's way more than, you know, what I would usually get. And working on peak season in that little holiday space right after, like, really set me up for the summer when it's like my birthday and stuff, and like really set me up so that I could pay a little bit off on rent early and shit like that. So hell yeah, I'm gonna do OT. But what comes with overtime comes stress. And a lot of us at Ratchet Court would do things to relieve our stress. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, like, the person you would least expect would be doing a little something something to keep them awake, to keep them mellowed out, or to just keep them less stressed. Like, I knew people at Ratchet Court that pop pills. I knew people at Ratchet Court that would literally people you would never expect. I'm talking has a white picket fence and like 3 little blonde children or some shit. Like, you get the American dream looking ass dude or lady popping pills in the morning because they know that they're gonna need to be mellow, right? Because they're stressed. Most likely leadership positions would pop pills to mellow themselves out. Mainly workers like me, I would spot people doing Adderall so that they could stay up, pump out the most work. Because like I told you guys, Ratchet Court would reward you if you went above and beyond. Like, you can get a tablet, you can get a gift card, which is extra money. Like, I knew some people that would do Adderall, like, point blank period. I knew people with caffeine addictions. They would pop caffeine pills and drink black ass coffee just so that they can get that shmoney and keep going. And like, it's literally like you learn that type of culture in college. And it's sad because I know people like that in college too. Like, because the majority of the people I work with at Ratchet Corp have bachelor's degrees. That's why I feel like you have to be very careful on what you go to college to get a degree in, because I don't got no degree. Barely about to finish my associates, right? You got dudes up in here with freaking master's degrees in business and stuff like that. Well, not masters, I'm gassing. The master's degree, people with master's degrees are most likely in like higher up corporate positions, but you have people sitting next to me with bachelor's degrees getting paid the same amount I was getting paid. Like, that's crazy. And what you learned in college is that Adderall culture, and then it gets brought into the corporate world. Like, look it up, look up people on Wall Street, that Adderall culture, because they were doing that shit in college and then they go on to Wall Street, that's just how the corporate world is. People like to substitute coffee. Why do you think coffee is free? Like, you need that caffeine to keep going. That, like, literally when I was working at Ratchet Corp, and it was always around this time of the year when I would do my annual appointment with my doctor. And I remember around this period when I was making the most money at Ratchet Corp, and I was just downing and downing coffee. And I went to my doctor and she told me, she was like,
look, if you do not stop drinking this coffee, your fucking kidneys are fucked. Like, I'm looking at your piss right now.
Because I had to pee in the cup. She's like,
I'm looking at your piss. Bitch, you're too young for this. Like, you need to stop.
And I haven't drank coffee since. Like, I drink caffeinated teas, which are not as strong. But literally, that scared the living shit out of me. I stopped drinking coffee altogether. Like, literally. I'll drink like a sugar-free Red Bull if it's that important. But even Red Bulls aren't good for you, and Monsters and shit is really not good for you. But if I have to, because I would be at work at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I'd get a sugar-free Red Bull, you know, or I'd get my caffeinated tea. But I had to completely cut out coffee just from like drinking it compulsively for 2 years. Fucked me up. There were people at work that would have those little those shooters, you know what I'm talking about, those little shot bottles that you can get from the liquor store. People would have shooters. I remember going to the bathroom like early in the morning, right when I'm clocking in, right, you know, and I would see girls with their purses open pulling back the shooters, you know. I've even got offered a shooter. I'm not gonna lie, as if I haven't, you know, down that bitch to get my ass up in the morning and be the best that I could be for Ratchet Corp. Like, I mean, shit, you had to do what the fuck you had to do, as long as you weren't like sloppy fucked up at the workplace, because you could get sent home for being intoxicated or having soiled clothes and shit, you know, like blatantly looking fucked up. Like, but if you go there to do what the fuck you need to do, they're not gonna care. I've even had leadership give me caffeine pills so I could, they don't care. It's just that culture, right? Let me know if any of your call center jobs or corporate jobs are the same way. It's like this not talked about culture within the workplace. Like, if it's legal, it's legal. Now, when it comes to weed and shit, They don't play about weed. Weed has a stench, like, you know, like you have to keep it on the low. Like, weed has a stench, you know, like you come in there smelling loud as fuck. Usually when people would come to work high on weed or like go on their break and try to mellow out from the stress with weed, they would usually use like those little pens with the oil. It doesn't have a scent, you know, you're not blowing up the spot type shit. Like, it's like this unspoken corporate culture of like, you do whatever the fuck you need to do to make sure you get shit done and no one's gonna knock you for it. At this point, when I was at Ratchet Corp, I no longer smoked weed, so I didn't rely on weed anymore, like for my breaks and stuff, and mainly just doing the caffeine, and I was mainly doing like the caffeine pills and shit like that, right? Like, I really wasn't doing none of the extremes. I wasn't popping no pills or nothing yet. I'm gonna tell you guys, I fucked up. I'm gonna tell y'all, it's gonna be the next story where I fucked up and got caught up in that culture real quick, and it was not for me, okay? And I was looking crazy, but we're gonna get to that next time. You guys have to stay tuned to figure that out, what happened when I got offered a pill by my coworker, and it was a mess. We had this janitor, cool ass janitor. Like, how Ratchet Corp was set up is there was like they hired one dude as a janitor, and that dude would like hire people within his family. It was a family business, and he had a lot of his family members working there. His family members were very humble, very down to earth. I liked them, like they were very, very cool. And there was this one dude who was a janitor. We're gonna call him Bob. So, you know, Bob is a young dude. Bob is around like my age. He's super polite, super nice. And like every time he would come down each hallway and get the trash can, cause we each had little trash cans by our desk, and he would dump it into the big trash can, move to the next aisle, right? So he came up to my aisle, and you know, every time he comes by, I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Blah, 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 you know. Super friendly. I mean, it's boring. We're at work. Like, he's at work too, you get what I'm saying? So I'll be like, hey, how are you? And he's like,
hi, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah.
And I was like, so like, what's going on today? How's your day been?
Yo, you will never guess what I found in this bathroom.
What'd you find in the bathroom? Because he has to clean the bathrooms too. We only had like, what? It was like, we have this big ass building, and there's one bathroom in the middle of the whole building. And he was like,
yeah, you'll never guess what I found in the bathroom.
What?
I found some cocaine in the bathroom.
I'm like, how do you know it was cocaine?
I know you may see me in my janitor uniform, but I know what cocaine looks like.
But like, how do you know though? Like, it could have been anything. Like, that could have just been some crunched up medicine or something. Like, that could have been some goodie powder, you know? Like, how do you know for a fact?
Naja. It was little rocks. It was in a baggie, twisted up, and there was residue. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody just snorted a line because there was lime residue.
And he said it was on the toilet paper holder in the girls' bathroom. So on top of the toilet paper holder, you dirty bitch, you literally snorted something off the nasty ass toilet paper holder. Like, ew, like, ew. And then like, damn, you doing straight up cocaine at work? Like, that's a little bit far. That's some Wall Street shit. Okay, we're in Ratchet Corp, okay? Like, you know, dudes on Wall Street, I know they snort coke. That's like, I'm sorry to break it to any of you guys if you didn't know, but rich people snort coke when they need to get shit done. Not I'm just saying, you know, but that's more of like a upper class type issue in the workplace, okay? In our level of corporate, it's more so like Adderall and caffeine. There was straight up cocaine on the fucking toilet paper holder, and I was like, that's crazy. Like, what did you guys do with it? And he was like,
well, don't tell anybody.
I'm telling you guys now.
We had to, you know, dispose of it. We had to bring it to HR. We don't know what HR did with it after that, but we just had to let them know, like, hey, this is what we found in the bathroom. You guys might want to do some testing. Whatever, right? So shortly after we had that conversation, maybe like 4 days go by, we get like a company-wide newsletter that went around to the whole Ratchet Corp, and it was basically like everybody's going to be subjected to a drug test, and they do not condone any type of illegal drugs on the premises, which is a complete lie. And you know, to be honest, everybody in the company was freaking out because everybody at Ratchet Corp smoke weed. Like, it's not a secret. When you get the job, you don't get drug tested. Like, it was a really easy way for a stoner to have a legitimate living. So everybody was freaking out. I wasn't freaking out because I didn't smoke any weed anymore, and I was completely
clear of any THC in my body, so I wasn't freaking out. But a lot of people were really like paranoid about it. They were like, when are they gonna test us? Because everybody wanted to get their little pee test kits and shit. I have people coming up to me asking me if I would pee for them, and I'm like, y'all are a mess. Why don't y'all just like stop smoking for a month and then take your piss test and then be done with it? But I guess it's just not that simple. It's just so funny how like when people want to pass a drug test, they don't just like stop doing the drugs. They have to find any and every way to pass it. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to be guilty of that. Like I could not stop smoking. Like I would just be like, oh, what detox can I buy and blah blah blah, instead of just stop smoking. Like, you know, everybody's all paranoid. Some people felt like they were oblivious. Like it did not matter what HR said. Like it didn't fucking matter what HR said. They were still gonna do their drugs and they didn't give a fuck. Cause one night, somebody, still don't know who it is till this day, probably a customer service agent, and that's probably why I don't know, but somebody from the night shift, they went into the bathroom and they were smoking some weed, and I knew they were smoking weed because the bathroom was right by the break room, and I walked into the break room right around when this was happening at night because I was doing some OT, so I was there late as fuck. When I went to the break room, it smelled so strong of weed. Like it was pungent. I don't know if it's because I didn't smoke, because now I got like grandma nose, like I can smell weed from a mile away now, but like literally it was strong. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, shit, it's the night shift, there aren't a lot of supervisors here, like that shit's probably gonna like, you know, wither out as the hours go by and the higher ups clock in tomorrow morning, right? So then I go to my desk, because my normal schedule is at 6 o'clock to 2. I left at maybe like 6 or 7 p.m. or whatever, and I went home. So apparently at around 10 p.m. or so, like 7, 8 p.m., the bathroom went on fire. The bathroom went up in flames, bitch. And when I clocked in the next morning, and I heard about what happened, because I went to the bathroom. I clock in at 6 in the morning, and I get there at around like 5:50, 5:30 or so, and usually I go to the bathroom and like, you know, fix my face up because I'm tired, usually just roll out the fucking bed and go to work. Yeah, like there were burn marks and shit everywhere, and there was like caution tape and like the little caution triangles that they be putting on the floor, like, and there was like burn marks, and it was going up to the freaking ceiling and shit. And I'm like, yo, I wonder if this was the girl from last night that was in there smoking weed that I was smelling, right? So then I go back into the loss prevention room and I'm asking around. I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck happened in the bathroom? And some people that were there later than me was like, yeah, some girl was in there smoking weed and she tried to cover it up with smoking a cigarette, and she threw the cigarette into the toiletries bin. Like, you know, in the girls' bathroom there's like a little bin next to the toilet for like tampons and pads and shit. She threw the cigarette butt in there, and it just engulfed in flames, bitch. It engulfed in flames. And the whole bathroom, well, obviously not the whole bathroom, because when I saw it, it was just like, that stall was just black. And yeah, they had to call the fire department and put it out, and they were doing an investigation on who started it. The investigation lasted maybe like a week. And then they caught homegirl, and then once they caught her because of the surveillance cameras or whatever. Once they caught her, they sent out another company-wide email saying, hey, please do not smoke in the bathrooms, and blah blah blah, XYZ happened, and that's a fire hazard, and people could have got hurt, blah blah blah. It was a hot ass mess, and the bathroom was like shut down for maybe like a few days, and we had to use the unisex bathroom, so all the girls in the whole building were fighting for the unisex bathroom. It was so annoying. And yes, Ratchet Corp was very liberal. We did have a unisex bathroom because we did have a lot of trans people at my job. A lot of them were really nice too, I'm not gonna lie. There was one that was really mean to me, but a lot of the trans people at my job were super nice. One of them was really attractive too. I'm just saying. So yeah, a lot of like my trans coworkers were telling me like, damn, like y'all just came in and ruined our little sanctuary of a bathroom because one of y'all girls had to fucking blow up the spot, literally. Does that ever happen to any of you guys at work where somebody just like blatantly just smoke weed at the job and set something on fire? Did somebody just purposely set something on fire? Do any of you guys working in like a corporate setting also notice like this underground drug culture that goes on to be the best of the best, if that makes any sense? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to read what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.